God save you, good knight. What can...
You haven't heard of any recruiters around here, have you? People looking for armed men?
Perhaps, but I'll not speak of it now.
Why not?
Because we're in the middle of something.
Come on. Nothing bad will happen if you talk to me.
Perhaps not, but I'll tell you when we're done. My memory will be sharper then.
Right. Christ, it's like pulling teeth with you. I hope you're more generous with your groschen than your words.
Would you have any work for me?
Yes, I might have. It all depends if you like.
Do you plan to send me for some, or to rob a brewery?
I want the recipe. The landlord in Ushitz makes a brew that could earn a man a pretty sum of money, if only he had a mind to share it. But he doesn't. You'll go there and pinch his recipe. Although he can't read, he had the scribe write it down for him. But you'll have to hunt around for the
I can't see you hanging up your miller's apron and starting to brew beer. But I'll bring you that recipe.
Fine.
I've got some goods.
All right. Good luck then.
Father, I'd like to speak with you.
I already told you.
Don't you feel any shame? Think of all those Christians who faced death and never betrayed their faith.
That's something else.
No, it's not. They weren't afraid to face death, and you're squirming at the thought of some slight danger.
Haven't you seen how they ransacked the place? Does that seem slight to you? Well, not to me.
The Cumans are gone, but the townsfolk won't come back. And why should they, when the man who ought to set an example, the one they look up to, is shitting himself?
The Lord forgive me. You're right. I should go back.
There. You see? Now I hear a man talking.
And where will I live? My house in Skalitz must surely be in ruins.
You can live right there at St. James. I'm sure the locals will be grateful enough to give you a roof over your head.
Well, it's true they've treated me kindly, and I do owe them. Very well. I will go back. Goodbye.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in
Amen.
heaven. What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like. People talk.
Oh, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
I don't recall his name, but he was one of your friends. He said that he couldn't take me straight to you, that I had to go through the church.
He was right about that. But he still said more than he should have.
I know my way around. You won't go wrong with me.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight. But not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
Who's Pius? And why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
I'll have to find him first.
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. Oh, he would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and pious. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
And how am I supposed to get into the cloister?
You'll think of something. Maybe there's a secret passage. I've heard there's some cave underneath. The cave of St. Procopius. There might be a way into it from outside.
And do you have any other ideas besides secret passages?
Well, there is this one fellow been hanging around the taverns. Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
Murder someone in a monastery? Have you gone mad?
Murder's a sin as it is. Doesn't really matter where you do it.
Yes, it does. I'd be spilling blood on hallowed ground.
Well then, knock him senseless, drag him outside, and finish him off where it's less sacred. I don't give a damn where you do it, just as long as he ends up dead.
And do you have any other test?
We're not hiring stable boys. We want men who are prepared to do anything. And this is the toughest task we've got.
So how many men have you already sent?
Just a handful.
And what happened to them? Did they hang? And what happened to them?
Just the first one. The others turned tail. Guess they didn't have the stomach for it.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal. He always went about well dressed and had a fine-looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk. Then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
Where better? There's more wine there than in the royal cellars. And I doubt he suddenly stopped drinking.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright? God be with you.
God save...
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No. Take care.
Greetings.
You wouldn't be...
No. Take care. God Almighty.
You wouldn't be...
No. God be with you. What? Are you volunteering to get...
That's right. Let's...
Over here, a beer.
Herrgott!
What's the hold up? Hey, ale, here.
How are you?
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No. Good luck then.
I hope I can be a help to you.
You wouldn't be Carl...
No. See you later.
Be a bit more careful.
I'll have to get my own ale.
God be with you. Good luck then. Greetings. God be with you.
Christ, I'll have to get my own ale.
Well...
God be with you. Welcome, Henry. I can't wait to see how you throw. Am I invisible? Over here, a beer. That's all.
What's the hold up? Hey, ale here.
Not afraid of anything, eh?
Am I invisible?
Use your head, man. You'll lose everything.
Jesus, what do I have to do to get a drink here?
May the Lord watch over you, Henry.
See you later.
I'm on. You take care.
God's sake.
You wouldn't be Carl by any chance?
No. Take care. Nothing I've heard. See you later.
I feel quite hungry.
Are you volunteering?
That's right. Let...
Kurva! You. God damn!
I shall.
Oh!
I'll be buried alive among those monkeys. Drinks for everyone with a heart in their body. To my immense demise!
God save you, good night.
You wouldn't be Carl, but...
No. God be with you.
Pour me one.
A tankard here.
Welcome, Henry.
I'll have a beer.
Got 2 hands.
Well, I never.
What's the matter, laddie?
God be with...
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
Are you Carl by any chance?
I am? Why do you ask?
I've heard that you're bound for the monastery.
Alright.
Yes.
One beer
Yes,
for me.
it's true. But I've convinced my faithful guardian, Manfred, to give me a few more days of freedom. Mind you, he won't let me visit the brothel. So instead, I'm devoting those days to the demon drink. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
What if I entered the monastery instead of you?
I would give you your weight in gold, if I had any. But Manfred there, my guardian angel and caretaker, has all the coin, and he never takes so much as a single step away from me. If you help me get rid of him...
He's been listening to us the entire time.
So what? Listen, friend, let's raise a glass. Manfred here's a sleepy old goat. We can talk once he dozes off. Please, get rid of him for me, any way you can. Goodbye.
Look out.
You're Manfred, the young lord's guardian?
Indeed I am.
You must have a mighty thirst. Waiting here with him for days, just watching him get drunk, and not having a sip yourself.
There's no doubt I'd enjoy a drink. Heaven knows I deserve it. But if I dull my senses in the slightest, that rogue will surely get up to mischief.
So let's drink together. And if you start to feel unwell, I'll keep an eye on him. Like you said, you deserve some fun.
I can see you're a reliable lad. So what shall we have to drink? And while we're at it, why not have a little game? I'll see you later. I can't wait to see how you throw.
God be with you, Henry.
Use your head, man. You'll lose everything. Not afraid of anything, eh? That's all.
Right, I'll have to get my own ale.
This'll be the one. Cursed luck. Curses! Why did I even start this game? Enough! I'm done with this. I've
What's the
had
hold-up? Hey, ale, here! And you said you wouldn't drink today.
Silence! I'm going to sleep. Here's a few coins. Have fun.
How much longer must
Tomorrow,
I wait?
we're going to the monastery. Is that clear?
Couldn't you give me more? This isn't even enough for a toothless whore.
Set up for beer.
Christ, I'll have to get my own ale.
Good health to you, Henry.
What?
That's right.
How much longer must I wait?
Manfred's taken care of, just as you wanted.
Thank God. He won't let me out of his sight for a second, and he's itching to get me in the monastery so he can head back home.
Why are you being sent to the monastery?
Like every lusty young lad, I'm fond of fair maidens, but I got too fond of one, and let's just say she was, indisposed for 9 months.
But they don't send you to the monastery for that.
They do, when it's the daughter of the Lord of your fief.
Shit.
Shit is putting it mildly. The Lord of Bookover was less than pleased. He knows he'll never marry off his daughter now, so he gave father a choice. Either pay him 1,000 groschen in compensation, along with my balls on a silver platter, or pay 1,000 groschen and put me away somewhere no one will ever see me again.
Why does your guardian never leave your side?
So I don't run away. Of course, I'm free to walk around, but he watches every step I take and won't stop until I'm behind the monastery walls.
Well, he's not watching you now.
What good is that to me when he has all the money, and even my saddle and riding cloak under lock and key?
Why don't you just run away?
Bare-arsed. What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever see me again.
What if I entered the monastery instead of you?
What? Voluntarily? You don't look like someone who'd want to spend the rest of his days on his knees praying. Well, that's your problem. You could only enter the monastery if you know how to read and write, and if you have a special writ from the abbot. That's a letter confirming they know who you are and that they've accepted you.
So you give me your writ? I'll just tell them I'm you.
Manfred has the writ. You'd have to take it from him, but he only puts it down when he sleeps.
So I'll steal it and then you can disappear.
Disappear? Bare-arsed? What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak.
But there are poor people every...
If I...
That's all then.
Good luck then.
What?
That's right. Let's go.
I've got what you need.
Excellent. Give me the purse. You can do as you like with the ring.
You want a punch in the face? Is there anybody I want a punch in the face?
You're getting nothing. I'm keeping the money.
That's what I get for making an honest deal with you? Not a chance. Give me that money, or I'll take it by force. Take care.
One bit.
I've only got 2 hands. Hey, look out!
What?
That's right.
Ah!
God be with you.
Sir, my investigation led me back to Scalitz, and I happened across a criminal there. I just wanted to report to you, sir, that I dealt with that murderer. He attacked me and, well, I got the better of him. He won't be doing any more harm to anyone.
That was a brave deed, Henry. Thank you. I see you've been doing an excellent job in my service. I sent a patrol there some time ago, and they never returned.
Sir, this investigation into the Neuhof massacre, it's getting a bit complicated.
What have you found out?
I tracked down a gang of robbers who recruited killers for Pribyslavitz. They know the Horsons who torched Neuhof.
That's excellent news. Did you find out any more?
So far, not much. If I'm going to infiltrate them, I have to do what they say. That means murdering one of their former cronies, a fellow they call Pius. Apparently he was at Neuhof too.
You have to kill a criminal to prove yourself to them? Huh. I don't much like the sound of it.
That's not the worst of it. This Pius is hiding out in the monastery pretending to be a novice. I'd have to get inside the cloisters to get at him.
Good God above, that's another matter entirely. They don't let just anyone into the cloisters, and the abbot won't give up any of the novices. Secular law has no jurisdiction inside the monastery. But this is the second time that something untoward has happened there. First the counterfeiters, now this. I'd be glad to have someone take a look inside.
It seems like the only way to find Pius is to join the order. Damned if I know how, though.
A bit of meditation and learning would do you good. If it's really the only way to get to him, then you'll have to do it. I'm sorry I can't be of much help. Sadly, my relations with the monastery aren't entirely congenial. You'll have to figure something out for yourself.
What should I do with Pius once I find him?
Don't kill him. Bring him to the bailiff in Rattay. He'll interrogate the man and give him a fair trial.
It doesn't sound like an easy task, sir. Getting into the cloisters, finding Pius, and then getting him to the bailiff.
Far from it, lad. But I have confidence in your abilities. Take care.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
He gave me the papers and left me at the gate. You must be used to that, though. I'm not the first novice here, am I?
But that wasn't very considerate of him, was it? It's been so hectic here lately, novices arriving one after the other. The last one didn't even have a letter, and you'd think his backside was on fire, the way he kept looking over his shoulder.
You took him without the letter? You didn't find that suspicious?
My guess is he wanted to hide from someone, but he's a priest and knows how things work in the monastery. So there was nothing to prevent him from being accepted, at least temporarily. You're a different case, though. Are you able to read?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance. God be with you.
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realize how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam. Et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
Being here in the monastery is my dream come true. Being a monk is so exciting.
Well, no one's ever said that before. I'm curious if you'll still be singing the same tune in a month's time.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Is it alright if we don't do the tour?
I thought that since you're literally a complete novice, you'd be interested to know what you have to do tomorrow. But if you don't want to come with me, I won't force you. Here's a letter from the prior with the daily schedule. Read it and observe it.
Thanks for everything. I'll look around myself.
Are you sure? It will make your life easier if I show you around. Otherwise, tomorrow you'll be standing around staring like an idiot while everyone else knows what they have to do.
I'll work it out myself.
Suit yourself. If you think you don't need any explanations, just follow the schedule you got from the prior. What would you like?
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
The words mean nothing to me. Ask in the library.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nevlis, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that, they spent no time considering how they could make the monastery a better place now.
Why? What's wrong with it now?
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer. The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests. So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead exemplary lives. Sin abounds here, just as in the outside world.
What sins are you talking about?
The scripture says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." I'm sorry, Gregor, it's not my place to speak about the sins of others.
Tell me something about how the new abbot will be elected.
A new abbot has to be elected once the old one dies. All the brethren can vote, with the exception of novices. The abbot's crozier will be conferred on whoever is chosen, and he'll take the vow. When he becomes abbot, a monk spends most of his time dealing with politics outside the monastery, instead of actually leading the monastery. But he still maintains a fundamental influence on life here.
Can you tell me about Abbot Peter?
Peter's wise in the ways of politics and a good shepherd, but as you've already heard, he's old and infirm. The other brothers see him with one foot in the grave, but I still have hope for him. But you, brother, don't let yourself get involved in the games of your superiors. Could you help me with something?
With what?
I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
You can count on my help. What do you need me to do?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. Or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the three wise men were from the East, were they not?
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Celerius could help.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Because I'm one of the highest-ranking monks here, and one day I'd like to become abbot. Can you imagine me crawling around in the black of night searching for a forbidden book?
You could just ask for it.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunately, Librarian Cyril is a stubborn ass.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Celerius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that, they spent no time considering how they could make the monastery a better place now.
Why? What's wrong with it now?
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer. The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests. So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead exemplary lives. Sin abounds here, just as in the outside world.
I'd be interested to know more about Brother John.
I don't like to speak ill of people, but Circuitor John is the worst person the monks could pick to represent them. He's nothing but an old schemer and pedant who preaches water but drinks wine. He's won the older brethren over because they know he won't call an end to their debauchery.
Why do you want to become abbot?
Because when I see the way things are headed around here, I have no other option. Itinerant preachers speak of the corrupted black heart of the church, and I can't deny there's truth in what they say. I'd like to change things and bring back meaning and esteem to the monastery.
That's all.
Peace be with you.
Ah.
What is it, brother?
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favour?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Nevlis, vote for Nevlis"?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent, John.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. Just like you and everyone else here. We're all brothers in Christ. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know about.
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I don't know exactly what's wrong, then my promises are just empty slogans.
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
What do you want me to find out?
I'd be interested to hear about any iniquity in the monastery. I need to prepare myself for what I'll be facing.
Listen, brother, is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something... something that's not so readily available?
I can't help you there. Brother Salarius might.
I'd like to ask you something. Who's in charge of things?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always traveling, and on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Tell me something about life here.
Prayer, work, obedience. That just about sums it up.
Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules, which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world, beyond the monastery walls, is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue and the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers change, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged through the ages.
I'm interested in the monastery's history.
It was founded by St. Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some time, but then the order was restored and brothers of the true faith returned.
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals in a language foreign to God. They were driven away and their books burned.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. Then there's the prior and the sub-prior, the librarian, the porter, and many others. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the circuitors. They're the ones who maintain discipline and punish bad behavior.
What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse, and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Can you leave the monastery?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in or out. Peace be with you, brother.
I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone
His health
yet.
is deteriorating. They say he won't make it to the autumn.
No. Peter has
I'm
a
Gregor
strong
and I'm new here.
I
He'll still
know.
be on this earth
I
for
saw you
many
in the
years to
church
come.
during the
Wish
ceremony.
all good health upon
I
him.
have a feeling we'll be
won't
meeting
change.
again soon.
And only a new
And
abbot can do
often.
that.
You
Waiting
see,
pays off.
I'm a
There's no
cicada.
hurry.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything is the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
About you in the election, will you tell me more about it?
Ask me anything you want.
Tell me something about Nevlas.
Nevlas is weak and toothless. He's full of hot hair. How anyone could think he'd make a good abbot is beyond me. Enough. I don't even want to hear his name again.
I'd like to know what's going on here.
Well, the young brothers feel they don't have the same rights and responsibilities as we, who have spent much of our lives here. And what of it? Privilege needs to be earned. Nevlas is lying when he says he wants to right wrongs. All he cares about are benefits for himself and his cronies.
Thank you for answering.
Today's food. What do they do in that kitchen? I'll bet
Will
they
you
keep
tell
the
me something
tastiest
about
morsels
yourself?
for
Guy,
themselves and give us the slop
there's
that's
nothing
left
I can
over.
tell you.
I mean, where you're
Definitely
from,
gone
what sort of
downhill.
life you had before, that
I
sort of
remember
thing.
back when we ate
I'm
like
a
kings.
novice, and my
And
monastic
why?
name is Lucas.
Those were the days.
Nothing else
You'll
matters.
see. Things will get better with the new abbot.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
I'd like to ask... Well, that's all. This looks like the dregs after a night's drinking. Who could be coming here? What do we have here? A nice sharp dagger. Now what would a monk need that for?
I've got an itchy feeling on the back of my neck. I think someone's spying on us. Say things you say.
It looks like I found a little monastic treasure trove. I wonder who stashed that here.
Just as soon as we drunk this one dry, he'll do anything for a little pat on the back from us. Talk to me, brother.
Leave me be. I want to sleep.
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad. Ah, down the hatch.
Every gulp a treat, isn't that the truth?
No wonder. With our throats going dry all day.
Next time we'll get the Yorick to bring some Rhine wine. I'm losing my taste for this one.
Why doesn't Yorick drink with us, anyway?
He's young, and he wants to look good in front of the others. And he doesn't trust us to keep him safe from harm if he got too drunk to make it to prayer.
You mean like your good self last Christmas Day? The way you drowned out the prior's voice by snoring through the Agnus Dei?
Don't remind me.
What troubles you?
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking.
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
But you're the cicators. You're the ones meant to be keeping order here. How can gambling and drinking be a fitting part of a monk's life?
If you really want to know, see for yourself.
All right. Have it your way.
Talk to me, bro.
You mentioned Yodok. What does he do for you?
Well, nothing much. He's just a little suckling like you. He'll do whatever it takes to stay on our good side. Sometimes we make use of him when there are errands to run.
Where'd you get the wine from? I thought the monastery cellars were guarded.
So they are. But this wine isn't from the monastery. Listen, lad, would you help us out with something? This cask is almost empty and we need a new one. We're a bit old for such exertions, but you, on the other hand...
I'll help you. What do I need to do?
Ha! I knew it. Help Novice Yorick arrange for a new cask. Talk to him first thing in the morning, and by tomorrow night, the cask can be on the table.
All right, I'll talk to him. Let's play!
Just the man we've been waiting for, my friend. So, let's play.
Peace be with you, brother. Ah, down the hatch. Every no wonder. With our throats going dry today.
Next time we'll get Yorick to bring some Rhine wine.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, probably the same as you. I want to be able to read in peace and quiet. And not just the books they make us read.
What exactly do you read here?
Well, I'd be interested to find the unofficial biography of Saint Procopius, but there probably is no such thing. To be honest, I was expecting some entertaining reading, but it's just the same old stuffy nonsense. But if that locked cabinet there with all the forbidden books was open, that would be a different story. Until recently it was still unlocked, but after something vanished, they've kept it locked tight.
If something vanished, I can understand why.
Books are meant to be read, so why keep them hidden away? If you're able to get inside, I'll be grateful till the day I die. All I'll do is leaf through a few books and then put them right back.
forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
Unbelievable. Imagine these men could have been burned at the stake just for writing these books. Many were, I'm sure. It's mostly Latin, that's not much use. But what about this one? Magical potions for conjuring diverse apparitions. I'll take it.
Hey, you better leave that here.
What are you so afraid of? No one will notice if 1 or 2 books are missing. This one looks interesting. A sorcerer's potion for rematerializing the body physical in other realms and for conversing with spirits of all manner therein. Oh, I have to try it out. I'll remember the recipe and prepare it later.
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds.
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar. They were talking about you.
Oh, no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
What do you think? Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
Better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but since he has the
We'd be safer not to get mixed up in the affairs of our superior brethren.
You're probably right. But I was naive and hoped I could fix things.
I warned them if they didn't stop, I'd go and tell the prior. But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me.
You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, he told me. Now, I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offenses, or for no offense at all.
Knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with...
Is there something I can do to help?
Would you? I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight. Then they'd leave me alone. But I'm afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
You're right. This ought to stay between the two of us. I'm sure our brothers will leave you alone soon enough.
I pray that's true.
And cannot suffer any delay in executing. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with his will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
That his heart is murmuring.
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
Unless he amend and make.
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not?
Readings on the
So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
Sin make us avoid evil works. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, the mission to speak should rarely be.
What do you desire, Brother Gray?
Even though it be for good.
Brother Cicator, my friend.
What would you like? To be relieved from duties?
No, I'm here because of Novice Lucas. I've heard there's some discord with him.
Only because that weasel wants to put an end to our nighttime fun. So, we're letting him know who's in charge here.
I'd appreciate it if you treat him like a brother again.
Well, if he isn't afraid of us, there's nothing to stop him ratting us out. But what do you care anyway? Grown fond of him, have you?
But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter...
He hates you because you trample all over him and he has nothing to lose. If you show him just a bit of kindness, he'll think again about taking you on. You'll see.
Fine, you've convinced me. You can tell him things have been straightened out, but he'd better be on his best behavior from now on. Beware of Lucas. He might corrupt you.
What do you mean?
He's a sodomite, a sinner. He might try to get you into the habit. Or out of it.
I'll decide for myself who I do and don't talk to.
Punishment for sin make us avoid evil works. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted.
I spoke to the cicadas about how they've been treating you.
Really? Did you manage to convince them to leave me alone?
In much speaking, you will not escape.
But you have to promise not to tell anyone what you saw them doing. Then they'll leave you alone.
That's a promise I'd be glad to make. I'm forever in your debt, brother. Because now I know I can trust you, there's something I want to tell you. It's about Brother Antonius. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true. God forbid I should cause harm by my words, but this is something I'm sure of. Novice Antonius is lying to us.
What makes you say that?
He claims he's a merchant's son from Vlashim, and that he joined the order voluntarily. The thing is, I spent a great deal of time in Vlashim. I know it like the back of my hand, and no one even remotely like Antonius has ever lived there.
Are you sure? Because this could mean that...
It's true, or Canute isn't my name. That would be my secular name, by the way, but that's not important. I know Vlashim, and I know the local merchants there, and I've never seen Antonius among them. Why would he be lying if he had nothing to hide?
Thank you for telling me. I'll look into it.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, not to govern his...
Talk to me, brother.
That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words.
In the night, I saw the brother cicadas drinking and playing dice.
And why aren't you spending your nights sleeping instead of creeping around spying on your brothers?
I only wanted to...
I know, brother, I know. But you need to understand that novices shouldn't be poking their noses into the affairs of elder brothers.
Even if something inappropriate was going on?
Even then, I'm afraid. Who are you compared with them? Wait till you know what's what, and in the meantime, keep your head down and do what you're told. Life in a monastery is much like life outside in many ways. The monastery walls don't keep out human pride and hatred.
Really? I thought monks were above that sort of human folly.
They became monks, Gregor, but that didn't stop them being men. Be on your guard as much as you ever were outside. Lies, jealousy, vengeance. They can hurt you here as much as anywhere.
Thanks for the advice. Although I don't know if I can follow it.
That's up to you, brother. Ah, Gregor.
I found a dagger in your stash.
And why shouldn't you have? I did hide it there after all. Do you often go through other people's belongings?
Well then, I have a question for you. I think you know what it is. What does a monk need a dagger for?
That dagger's the only thing I have left of my father. It was in our old shop, under the counter. Father kept it there to protect himself from thieves. When I was little, I admired that dagger so much. I asked Father if he'd give it to me when I was older. He always said yes, but only after he was dead.
Go on, please.
Now Father's dead and I'm here. That piece of steel is the only thing I have left from the outside world. I know it's not suitable for a monk, but I can't part with it. Now you can give it back to me. Thou shalt not steal.
Here it is.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
It should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
Nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and fear.
I was talking last night with the brother Cicators. It seems you're to fetch them a cask of wine, like last time.
Well, yes, it's true.
I'd like to help you.
Would you really do it? To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. I know it's forbidden, but we've no other option. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys. And only the prior has those.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to steal the prior's keys so I can go and steal wine somewhere else?
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you? I don't have what it takes. I can't get those keys, but you could. Or you might be able to pick the locks.
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care. So they unlocked the gates for me. This time we'll have to steal the keys.
How can I get hold of the keys, do you think?
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them. Brother Celerius, the cellar keeper, used to be a burglar. He knows his way around locks, and maybe could help us, if you could find a way to arrange it.
Do you think he'll want to take part in theft?
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get some lockpicks to open the gate. You'll figure something out.
If you think so, I can try.
Once you have the key or some lockpicks, come and see me and we'll make our plan.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
About those
Did you get them? Keys? Or at least lockpicks?
Yes, I have.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there, and we'll head off.
The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the Spirit of Science.
Brother, what are you doing here?
I said, I will guard my ways.
I had other affairs that needed to be...
Really? Fine then.
To my mouth. I was mute and was humbled and kept silence even from good.
My name's Gregor.
You can call me Siskin.
Spirit of silence.
Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Permission to speak should rarely be granted.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
For it is written in much.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that
But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing.
whatever is necessary.
If it had
until
come to
about
that
4
after my
hours.
father's
From
death,
the
so
4th
be it.
hour until
But
about
to get
6,
rid of me
let
while
them
he's
abide
still
by
alive?
reading. After the 6th hour,
They must have realized you robbed them.
let them rest on their beds.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brothers, my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
And let them again do what work has to be done until vesting.
What about the dagger?
That's a memento of better times. Father gave me that when I was a little lad. And it's done right by me more than once, when I got drunk somewhere with the wrong sort of people.
Do you know how to fight?
Their weakness must be
And
taken
how?
into consideration by the abbot.
Boozing and brawling.
The rule of
God, how I miss that here.
readings on daily manual labor.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
Prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning.
Tell me more about the
labor
book.
at whatever is necessary.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the
You're right.
of those who hold
Knowledge should never be prohibited.
Oh, I'm glad you agree.
the holy service.
Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it. I haven't grasped a single syllable. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
Is done without hesitation.
What kind of a book is it?
Delay, lukewarm,
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
If it wasn't harmful, it wouldn't be forbidden.
That's a rather limited view of the world. Some write about the saints, others about demons. And an educated person should know both. Pity I can't understand a word it says. And I've been trying for quite a while. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
Unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not
There's a lot of
shut his
coin in
eyes
this
to the
stash.
faults of
You have to
offenders,
admit it looks
but
suspicious.
since he
I
has
admit it
already
might look that
cut
way.
out those faults
But if I
by the
tell you what I'm hiding from everybody, I think you'll understand why. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
Idleness is the enemy of
That's all I wanted.
Please, keep it to yourself. especially the part about the coin.
Manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calendar...
About that magic potion from the Forbidden Book.
From prime in the morning, let them labor
What do you plan on doing with it?
I don't really know yet. Perhaps one day I'll concoct it and try it out.
Let them apply themselves to reading.
Would you share the recipe with me?
You don't even have to ask. It's thanks to you I have it. Listen, old wives' ointment, which witches use upon the Sabbath, and therein damn their souls to the devil. Prepare oil, a fistful of marigold, a fistful of belladonna, and a fistful of lover's knot. Boil the lover's knot for one turn. Drop the ground marigold in the cauldron and boil for another turn. Drop the ground belladonna into the cauldron and boil for another turn.
Sounds quite poisonous.
And it probably is, but I'm interested to find out what it does.
Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay.
In the middle of the night, I saw the Brother Circators drinking and playing dice.
How marvelous! Did you join in? More importantly, can I join in next time?
Siskin? I thought it wasn't allowed.
If the Circators can, we all can.
That's not how it works, though, is it?
I know. A double standard. The elder brothers can do as they please, but they're the ones preaching about morality to us.
Is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarm.
I'm still...
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
The command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God.
I'll leave you be. Don't worry, I won't follow you again.
Thank you. And please, Gregor, don't mention it to anyone.
Due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict.
About that.
On humility. The first degree of humility.
Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I want to try it out. I'm not saying right now, but at some point.
Let's change the subject.
Will you tell me?
Look, nothing against you, but I...
Are you hiding something?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
Far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment.
That's all I...
Please, keep it to...
Unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness. Ah, Gregor.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages.
I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
What is it?
The Rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Their weakness must be taken into
Ah,
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The older brothers are picking on novice Lucas, punishing him when he doesn't deserve it and humiliating him.
It seems that now even brothers can't avoid worldly evil. Thank you for the information, and if you can, stand up for him. The older brothers are also out to get me. Any action I take, they'll try to use against me.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
Brother Yodok has been stealing wine for the Circators so they can drink.
Yodok? Well, that little rat's shown his true colors. Do you know where he's stealing it from?
I don't know, unfortunately.
No matter. You've brought me important information.
Brother Siskin is hiding treasure he owned before he became a monk.
It doesn't surprise me. It's not the first time that's happened, and it won't be the last. I wouldn't punish him, but you can talk to him about it. Perhaps God will guide him, and he'll gladly give up his mammon.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today's task, 2 cockerel potions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. What would you like?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you... Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Can you read at all?
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I have all the pages of the torn-up book. The Art of Love can go back to the library.
Oh, brother, you can't even imagine how happy you've made me. Since you're clearly a true lover of books, I'll give you a reward I've never given another novice. I'll lend you the key to the cabinet containing forbidden books, and you can look at the peculiar things we've accumulated there. That cabinet's strictly off-limits to novices, but you've earned my trust. I'm sure you'll recognize that those books contain nothing but dangerous gibberish, and there's a valuable lesson to be learned there.
Thank you, brother. Is there anything I can do to help here?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, a silly thing, really. I haven't thought to mention it to anyone before, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall.
Ovid? What is...
Not... Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother used... If he'd had his...
Interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
Peace be with you, brother.
What do you desire, brother?
Here's the book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
Oh, you're interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself.
Peace be with you, brother.
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor. I don't know my way around here yet. You're in charge of the whole monastery, aren't you?
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of God, just like you and all the other brethren. Before God, there's no difference between us. How do you like it here?
It's wonderful here.
I'm glad to hear it. May your enthusiasm last.
I've heard you keep records of all the novices.
Yes, I do. Personal records detailing their past lives which are none of your business. Just as it's no one else's business that you deflowered your liege lord's daughter. What is it, brother?
I need to tell you something, but you won't be too happy.
Tell me, son.
It's about some of the brothers. At night, when everyone else is asleep, they go to the monastery cellars to drink wine and play dice.
Are you certain? I had my suspicions, but if it's true, such offences call for stern punishment, but not without proof.
Would you like me to find some?
That won't be necessary. I'll question them myself. I can tell when someone's lying to me. Tell me, Gregor, which brothers are we talking about?
The Cicators, Stibor and John.
The Circators? That can't be true. For the love of heaven, John's declared himself a candidate for abbot.
If you go to the cellars at night, you'll see them yourself.
I'll look into it. I most certainly won't tolerate drinking or dice games in the monastery. And if Abbot Peter were here, he'd break his crozier over their backs. Thank you for letting me know, brother. It appears you're an honest and faithful Christian and a true follower of Saint Benedict. The Lord be with you.
You're welcome, Brother Prior.
What do you desire?
You have some interesting skills for a monk. Don't suppose you want to tell me how you picked them up?
What's there to tell? We were all young and foolish once. I was a student in Prague, completely broke, living from hand to mouth and studying all day. It wasn't an easy life.
So you turned to stealing?
I set about securing a livelihood as best I could. A goose, some new shoes, a bit of coin to spend with my friends. Without that little bit extra, I'd never have completed my studies. I would have turned into a beggar. And who else do you know that can say he's serving God thanks to having been a thief?
No one, brother. Thank you for telling me your story.
What troubles?
Will you tell me something?
Look, nothing. I hate to...
That's all I want.
Please.
What have we here? That's it. The book with information about the novices. Interesting. But I still don't know which one of them is pious.
Brother, where were you during Mass? Don't tell me you didn't know that Holy Mass...
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? I'll pretend...
What would you like?
I've heard you're from Vlashim.
Yes, why do you ask? And more importantly, where did you hear it? Since I'm quite sure I've never told you. Honestly, the monks like to gossip more than old wives at the market.
Because I've heard otherwise. You aren't from Vlashim, you made it all up.
And who told you that? Whoever it was, he's a liar. It's complete nonsense.
I've heard you.
Yeah.
I've read the abbot's book. It's got everything he knows about the novices.
Why? Why would you do that?
That doesn't matter. What matters is the abbot doesn't believe your little fairy tale either.
What's so implausible about it? I've always been more interested in books, so I left my brother the shop and came here to live a good life.
You see, I'm looking for someone in the monastery. Someone who's lied about who he is. And you fit that description perfectly.
But I told you, I've never lied to anyone.
That's funny. I think you're lying to me right now.
Do you think you're entitled to met out justice? Who gave you the right? I'm sorry, but I don't want to have anything more to do with you, Gregor. You're a lunatic, and the prior ought to be warned about you.
Please don't tell him anything. It will put my whole mission in jeopardy. And believe me, my cause is just.
Very well, I won't say a word. But you should think twice about what you have in mind. What troubles you?
I need to make a confession.
I'm no priest, but tell me what you've done. It's probably nothing to worry about.
I'm here in the monastery looking for a thief. He had a hand in burning down the Neuhof stud.
You don't say. And who are you to take such an interest?
That's not important.
Why are you telling me this anyway? What do you want from me?
Perhaps you could help me find him?
The missing thief? If I knew anything, I'd tell you, but I suppose it must be one of the novices. I've only recently heard about the Neuhof incident, and all the other brethren have been here much longer than that.
I know. Aside from me, there are only 4 novices, but still, I don't know which one he could be.
3? Please, leave me out of it. And you're right that it could be any one of them. No one knows anything about Lukas. Siskin might be a lot of things, but a monk isn't one of them. And Yodok is a slimy worm. It wouldn't surprise me if he was behind that massacre. Actually, the more I think about it, the less I like that Yodok. He's a treacherous rat who'd do anything to get in someone's good books. The thought of Yodok at Neuhof sends chills up my spine.
I don't think it was him. But please, don't tell a soul what we've been talking about.
Don't fret, my friend. Your secrets are locked inside my lip.
I know you're pious. The man I've been...
So you're finally sure? Tell me, Gregor, or Karl, or whatever your true name is. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. I'm not sure what I should do.
Well, at least you're prepared to think and not just play bloodhound for a pack of nobodies. And I'm glad you have your doubts.
I don't want to be like the people I'm looking for. If I have to kill, it should be for a reason, not because I enjoy it.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us. But we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Neuhof. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Neuhof made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
You're right. But the people who sent me will find out if I don't kill you.
They won't if we're clever about it. No one has to die. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery, and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Do you mean these keys?
What? I'm not going to ask you how you got your hands on those, you devious lad.
And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you.
Brother?
I was feeling a bit...
Red. This time... Talk to me.
I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so...
Why? What's wrong?
Many brothers...
That's all.
Talk to me, brother. What would you like to do?
Not exactly.
John, but
That doesn't...
Pity.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been... Today's time. Once you finish... Praise be to...
I've finished my...
Show me what...
Talk to me.
I'm here to...
Oh,
virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell,
Brother,
and the glory of life
where were...
as soon as anything
Come now.
Fine then.
receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be accepted. Again at fixed hours in sacred reading.
Brother, where were...
You're right, brother.
This is your...
From Easter until the calends until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence, or if anyone...
Talk to me, brother.
I have everything we need.
Excellent. Straight after Vespers, we'll meet in the dormitory. We'll have to get it all done before the monks have finished dinner.
What exactly is your plan? And why can't we do it at night?
We're going to prepare a little riddle they'll never solve. And why at mealtime? Because we need the dormitory as well as the church to be empty. Then at night we'll escape. Do you follow? Take everything with you and don't forget the keys.
Good. Once evening mass ends, I'll be in the dormitory.
Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again. Or sickly brethren should be assigned a task.
What do you do?
I'm here to...
Concoct. Once you finished... Praise...
I finished...
Show me what...
Praise be to God. For a moment there, I was worried you weren't coming. Give me that blood. This is the exact spot where you pushed me off the gallery.
Service. Praise be to Christ, brother.
Look,
Slow down, brother. Thank you for helping me out. Now we must each go our own way.
I was glad to help. I did what I needed to do and no one got killed. What will you do now?
Now, get the hell out of here. Steal the first horse I come across and ride until dawn, far, far away from here. I was thinking... Here, take this. Show it to those cutthroat bastards and tell them you found it on me. That should convince them. Especially when they hear about the outcry here after the Friars found out we've gone.
Your lucky die?
In a manner of speaking. Hope it brings you more luck than it brought me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me live, Brother Gregor.
My name's Henry.
All right, Brother Henry. May God be with you.